Oh! We hardly ever see each other outside the command room. Oh, just taking a little walk. The mission I was coordinating just ended. Crawford is always telling me I need to slow down and take a break once in a while. But it's actually Crawford who never seems to take any breaks. Not only does he handle Battle Command, but he also manages Central City's administration. He even takes the time to meet with ARC's defenders individually. I wonder when in the world he ever sleeps, and yet he never looks the slightest bit tired. Yes, he's a leader we can all count on. But at first glance, he looks more like an ineffectual type. You know, back when I was first starting out as an operator, I was always super nervous. I'm responsible for people's lives, so I was absolutely terrified of making a mistake. But one time, Crawford came over to me with a kind smile and said, "If you ever feel like you're going to mess up, remember that you can count on my support anytime. And all the other operators are always here for you too. So, there's nothing to be afraid of." After that, I started to feel better. I even started initiating conversations with Rosa and the others. Crawford said what I needed to hear, just when I needed to hear it. I'll never forget it. Well, I guess I'd better get back. Oh, and all those things I just said, please don't tell him. Well, good luck on your assignments. And the next time you come to the command room, please be sure to tell Crawford not to work so hard. Take care!
Hey, there you are. I just finished up a mission and was heading back. Standing here with you now takes me back to that day. You, Ida, and Manon's first mission. The three of you fought pretty well for being fresh out of basic training. I guess I'm the one who decided you were ready to get right in the action after seeing how well you did in the training. But I didn't think you'd be in battle so soon after that. In the end, though, I think Crawford made the right call. That you and Manon could do that right after landing on the planet shows how resilient you two are. I hope the two of you keep doing what you're doing. And Dinah, too. She had just lost her father and sustained serious injury. From what I hear, she still didn't even know her way around her weapon yet. She displayed incredible fortitude and courage in that battle. But compared to you, Meteor, she's still a work in progress. With some more experience, I'm sure the sky's the limit for her. Attitude is what's most important. She seems like she's in such a hurry to prove herself. In a way, she's trying to put what happened at Aelio Town to good use, without being consumed by anger. Using anger and hatred as motivation always warps a person's soul. As long as she keeps focusing on improving herself, she'll be fine. Slow and steady wins the race. I need you and Manon to keep an eye on her. You know, I think something is weighing on Manon, too. I need you to lead the two of them by example.
Ah, what perfect timing. We just got the data together from the Retem region survey. I don't know if it'll help you in your battles or not, but would you like to take a look? Wonderful. Let's go over it then. First, let's look at Retem's environment. As you can see, Retem is a region covered in sand. The temperature varies wildly between night and day, and it almost never rains. It would seem to be quite a harsh environment for any living creature. And yet a multitude of creatures live there nevertheless, perfectly adapted to their surroundings. We plan to do further research on the life forms there, including all local enemies. However, the environments of two regions connected by border bridges are astonishingly different from one another. We'd like to assign researchers to look into that, but for now, we must prioritize research that can help us in battle. Speaking of astonishing, Sagan Mountain Road, just inside the Retem region, is another strange area. There are electromagnetic and gravitational anomalies there. You'll even find things like huge boulders floating in midair. We think cylindrical structures called the grefts cause the anomalies, but there's still much to learn about them. But let's save that topic for another day. Now, I'll give you an overview of the residents of Retem. Retem is a region plagued by harsh environmental conditions and constantly under the threat of Dahl's attacks. That next Aelio battle the other day posed a major threat to us. However, such threats are commonplace for the people of Retem. They've lost many lives trying to keep their town safe. It's not a surprise that there are people who value strength above all else. It seems to be a basic tenet of theirs that the strong should protect and guide the weak. The circumstances of both Aelio and Retem have always prevented us from interacting with each other much. The cultural differences are also a barrier to mutual understanding. But if you can exhibit strength to them, in spite of all this, I'm sure they'll accept you. I'd like you to reach out to the Retem Ark's defenders and earn their trust. Well, I guess that's enough of an introduction to Retem, for now. All that's left is for you to go and experience it for yourself. I can't wait to hear about it.
Oh, it's you. Good timing. Can I talk to you for a moment? I still have a hard time believing this happened. Aelio town just gone, just like that. The town was responsible for defense all the way from South Aelio to West Aelio. It covered the area that's cut off from Central City by the mountains. But Dahl's often attack from the sea as well. Even now, it's hard to predict where they might attack from. It was a tall order for the people of Aelio town. But they were always more than up to the task. Thanks to their efforts, Central City didn't face any serious danger for a long time. As you might expect from people with such responsibility, they were pretty tough. But Garoa was a cut above the rest. Mind, body, and spirit in perfect balance, and all at a very high level. His instincts were honed by experience, and he knew how to execute on them. Aelio Town and Central City would do practice drills together once in a while. It was all friendly, of course, but things could get pretty competitive. I used to get matched up against Garoa often. I never did manage to beat him, not even once. I gave it my all every time. If anyone was going easy, it would have been him. He left us before I could settle the score. I'm not sure Arx will ever have another defender quite like him. He was a force of nature when he fought, but he was so easy to get along with otherwise. He was warm. Just being around him was enough to make all my little worries melt away. All the other townspeople were kind-hearted too. I can't allow them to have died in vain. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. What a coincidence, seeing you here. I see. I was on patrol and thought I'd stop by here. I was reminiscing a little bit. I'm a Meteorn too. Just like you and Manon. This patch of coast here is where I landed. How could I forget? I was so disoriented when I got out of the pod that I was a sitting duck. Before I knew it, I was completely surrounded by enemies. I had a weapon in my hand that I knew how to use for some reason, but I was outnumbered. They slowly closed in on me. I remember thinking I was gonna die right there, and I had no idea who I even was. And then an Arcs defender showed up. He cut through all of them like a hot knife through butter. I had never seen anything quite like it. It was Crawford. At the time, he wasn't the head of Central City yet. He was just an ordinary Arcs defender. Apparently, he happened to see my pod make planetfall and came to see if I needed help. He carried me back to Central and patched me up good as new. And he welcomed me as a citizen of Central City. After that, he taught me how to get by on Alpha. And how to fight. He sure was a stickler for the basics. His curriculum was as detailed and meticulous as you might expect. And he's a pretty demanding teacher, too. I'm an absolute teddy bear compared to that guy. Crawford made me who I am today. I do what I do now. It's my way of paying him back. I need you to be in his corner, too. He's charismatic, but the truth is that he doesn't have many people who understand him. I'd appreciate it. It's you again. What are you up to this time? Well, I guess everyone needs a day off sometimes. Being under constant stress will break you down, physically and mentally. You have to make sure to keep some in the tank, for when it's important. Hey, thanks for your help. I mean about that incident with Aelio in this forest here. I think I was overconfident back then. Rezel is a pretty bewildering forest, but I'd been here so many times I figured I had it all mapped out. And I knew everything there was to know about the dolls here. Or so I thought. But everything was different that day. The dolls were more powerful, and they completely jammed my comms. And of course, Aelio. Nothing could have prepared me for that. We would kill one enemy and two would take its place. And pretty soon we were surrounded. I was sure we would be wiped out. If the three of you hadn't shown up, I have no doubt that would have been the case. My relationship with Aelio goes back 10 years. The same thing had happened 10 years prior. A sudden invasion by Aelio and dolls. At the time, Central City's defenses still weren't completed. We somehow managed to repel them after a fierce battle, but both sides suffered heavy losses. I also took part in the fighting, but I was no match for them, and so I didn't contribute much. My inability to see the bigger picture cost the lives of a lot of friends. And so, all those memories and feelings came flooding back to me during the battle the other day. There's a lot I need to reflect upon. I wouldn't be the person I am now without you three. You helped me to settle the score with Aelio. I owe you my gratitude. Thank you. I'll pay you back someday on the battlefield, I'm sure. You have my word. Fancy seeing you here. Do you have a moment? I'd like to talk to you. Thank you. I'm training some rookie Arcs defenders. I've still got a little time to kill until they finish up running through Atrania. I'll get right to the point. Do you know what's going on with Manon lately? Manon is top-notch. Not only as a fighter, but as an engineer and a scientist as well. But she's got a dark side, and I'm a little bit worried that it might be steering her in the wrong direction. I'm not sure what the source of Manon's sadness is. If she doesn't want to volunteer the information, then it's not really my place to pry. However, you can't have any baggage like that in battle. Sometimes it can cause a person to make poor decisions. The problem with that is, it doesn't just affect you, but everyone around you too. I'm saying this based on my own personal experience. Aina is facing her past head on and trying to overcome it as quickly as possible. But Manon seems to be doing everything she can to stuff it all inside. That never works. She's going to explode someday. If Manon happens to ask for some help, I need you two to be there for her. The three of you are always together, so I'm sure you'd notice subtle changes in behavior. A team is about more than being a force multiplier. A real team is one with true bonds between its members. I want you to keep that in mind. Hope I didn't sound like I was lecturing you. Well, those rookies should be getting back from the Trania right about now. Sorry to ambush you with a talk like that. Thanks for listening. Keep an eye on Manon, would you?